Some Christians, and we unfortunately see them all the time, come in and they say, well, I know that divorce is a sin, but it's not the unpardonable sin, is it? No. Well, so I'm just going to leave her, and then, I'll repent later and stuff. And now, people are serious about this. They see that they're thinking it through. This will work for me, I think, And I always say to them, I don't want to be with you when you start playing with God. Because if you use the grace of God as a cloak for your unrighteousness, I can't begin to assure you God's going to forgive you if you go in knowing what you're doing is wicked and you do it anyway. You'll just have to work that out between you and the Lord. But I'll tell you what I will say to you. I don't have one verse for you. One verse of comfort. I have nothing to tell you. I have no idea how you're going to live with that. I've got 100 of them to tell you to be careful going in. And you can't deal with sin flippantly. I think Paul said to the Romans, what shall we say then? Shall we sin continuously so that grace may abound all the more? God forbid. I mean, we want to know what God's will is. So for Christian marriages where no adultery has occurred and a believer leaves, I believe that you biblically have these options. You should seek and pray for reconciliation. You should use Matthew 18, church discipline, and seek to get leadership people involved. You should keep yourself pure and uninvolved and committed to your marriage, even if your wife or your husband is not. And you should just wait on God to make his way clear. If she goes out and marries someone else, you're free. She dumps you or he dumps you, I think you're free. But, that waiting is the period where so often we lose godly people to ungodliness. Because those things don't happen overnight, and emotionally we're so involved, we want things to be fixed by Friday. 28 years of trouble, we got to have this fixed by the weekend, I'd like to. And it can't be done. And what unfortunately happens is the innocent party or the party that is hurt or feels like they've done everything right often not only gets very hurt, but they get very disillusioned. And so eventually they just don't want to be, praying for restitution. They're praying that they go away and don't come back. And it is easier for people to find a way out than to find a way through. But if these are the principles upon which you begin to walk with God, then you really should stay that course. And you really should commit yourself to that course. The justification people make for their behavior oftentimes times to me sounds much like the Pharisees here with Jesus. Two Christians should never get to this point. It is sin, it is wrong, it'll hinder your spiritual living. But I'll tell you what, divorce can lead to a lot more sin, not less. And it certainly won't make you happy. You remember these things before you get married. Don't marry a guy for how he looks or for his money or out of anxiety that you're running out of time and your clock is ticking, whatever that is. Some stuff I don't get. I just read and I just pass along. You seek first the kingdom. God brought Eve to Adam. God knew his need. You seek him, God will seek you. That's just the way it works. Either that or we throw the Bible away and we try it on our own. But if you want to try it on your own, you just go read the statistics. People are doing that all the time. So Jesus stresses the marriage covenant, not the exception. And the Pharisees, in tempting him, sought to turn, the focus. He has given the only cause for divorce that he allows. But let me add this to the mix, and the Lord will and Paul will as well later on. There is a better way than divorce to deal with adultery. And if adultery can be repented of, the grace of God can bring people to forgive and move on.